I grew up in, I feel like a pretty normal family, but religion wasn't really anything that we partook in. Like there wasn't really much of a religious influence growing up. I just saw it as something that was divisive, like that was used to control people. And so it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. And I kind of decided probably around that point that I didn't really want to believe in anything, and made the decision that I was an atheist at that point. But being an atheist at that point was kind of shorthand for saying I'm smarter than you. And so I definitely kind of took pride in that. And then towards the end of my 20s, everything kind of really started falling into place for me. I got an opportunity to kind of start my own business as a consultant. And I was working with a Chinese company, and I was getting to travel. Like I spent some time in China working with them, and I was getting to, I was making more money than I'd ever made, and I was getting to use my brain, and my job was interesting, and I was getting to travel. And by March, I was unemployed. And so by May, probably, I was pretty much starting to drink almost every day, and the depression was starting. I was starting to get pretty down. And then the thing that really kind of tipped it over was on December 21st, one of my absolute best friends passed away from brain cancer. We knew he was getting worse, and over that year, I had barely gotten to see him. And on December 20th, I woke up, and his girlfriend had sent me a message and sent kind of the group a message saying he wasn't doing very well. And so I raced over there, and he lived just a few minutes away from me. So I went there first thing in the morning, and there were a group of us sitting there. And at around 8:30 in the morning, while I was sitting there right beside him, he took his last breath. And I watched one of my really close friends, a guy who was a brother to me, who I loved, and I watched him die right in front of me. And that was it. I couldn't handle it anymore. Once I got home, I just kind of immediately went to the bottle and just started drinking. And I was just kind of really just getting to a darker and darker spot, and really just going downhill. And at that point, like I was contemplating suicide every day. I was pretty much, a lot of my downtime was debating on if I should keep going or not, and was just really thinking about ending it. A month or two later, we were helping our one friend move, and my friend Josh, while we were moving, just started asking me some questions about, so what do you think about God? What are your thoughts? What are your beliefs? And he was like, you should come check out church. He's like, just come out one Sunday, give it a try. And my initial thing was like, no, absolutely not. Like, I'm not going to church. Like, it's not happening. But we chatted, and we kind of continued to talk a little bit, and and I said, whatever, why not? I'll come out once. I showed up, and I walked into Central for the first time, and Pastor Bill came out, and he started talking about unity and serving, and not at all what I associated with Christianity. Like I looked at Christianity as this thing that's divisive, it's control, it's try to force people to do things you want them to do. And that wasn't at all what I heard. Like I heard him talking, and he was talking about how important it is to treat everyone with love and, and serve people, even if you don't agree with them, no matter what their beliefs are. Like, and that was something that I couldn't disagree with. And so by the third or the fourth time I came out, when, after the message, Josh and I would usually sit in the cafe, or he'd come over to my place and we'd hang out. And we started having, more conversations, and it was, let's dig into what the message was on. And I didn't even really realize at the time, but by November, I wasn't drinking as much. I kind of had cut that back. And then in January, Josh invited me out to his men's group. And so I was like, okay, I'll come out and I'll check with the men's group. At the end, one of the members got some bad news. And he came in after kind of getting a phone call and shared the news with us. And all the guys who were still there, we, got together in a circle and started praying for him. And that was something I'd never experienced. And there was power in it, and I felt something there. And after about a week, I said I was going to pray for myself. And so I kind of went for, I started doing like the, God, if you're real, show me a sign, please, so that I know. And I prayed that one night, and I prayed that the next night. And then the following morning, something happened that was the sign. It was what I was asking for. And it hit me when it happened. It was that immediate recognition of like, this is what I was asking for. This was the sign. And in that moment, like, I had tears well up to my eyes, and I almost started crying, and I got the sign. And then that Sunday, after a couple weeks, I told Josh, and I remember Josh's face. I don't know if I've ever seen him so excited. He jumped up and down and gave me the biggest hug and was just so happy to hear that. It is amazing to me when I think back and I look at me a year ago, and I just had so much sadness and bitterness and anger in my heart. And just looking at that Mike, and it just feels so utterly different to, the me of today. And I am grateful. And I have said to Josh many times, like, I have thanked him so much for helping to introduce me to Jesus, for helping, for planting that seed and helping it grow. Probably the best thing I did was start going to that men's group. Like, joining that group was awesome because it was great coming here and hearing the message. And it was great having Josh to talk with, but having a group to talk with, to really work through difficult ideas with, to support each other. Like, it was amazing having that. And yeah, I'm just amazed. And yeah, every day I thank God for what he's been doing in my life, and for the way that he's been working on my heart, and the way he's been helping me, and just for coming into my life.